Alright, so I'm back, and today we're going to take a look at the Beast Wars Transmetal 2 Scourge, or Scourge, however you want to say it. I've heard it both ways. I prefer Scourge myself. I think I've had this debate before. But I prefer Scourge myself. Especially with this character. So here he is in his robot mode. And mine's got, I got this used from GF Source, and you can see the chrome is wearing off, so I'm not going to fault him for that, really. I will knock him a little bit because of longevity, because it is an older toy. Let's see here. Where's the stamp on this guy? There it is. Come on, focus. Well, 1998, I believe, is what it says. So he's a fairly old figure. He's just flaking off like crazy now. So anyway, so here he is in his robot mode. As you can see, he's kind of a twisted thing, like all the Transmetal 2s were. But he's pretty cool. I do dig him. He's not symmetrical at all, which is kind of a plus for me on this particular figure. Because he's supposed to be like a mad scientist that likes doing tests on both Maximals and Predacons just to see if he can get something new and horrible. So it kind of works that he's like this twisted looking thing if he's a twisted type character. I think him and Tarantulas were buddies. So yeah, he's really cool, way ahead of his time, for a couple reasons, I think. For example, he's got the backwards legs. You don't see that very often in the older toys. It's more of a Michael Bay design. And his work. They work really well. It's pretty easy to balance him. And he's got something else that's become very popular lately. The open hand, but still with the peg hole right there. I don't think this is a 5mm port, but let's find out. We got Galvatron's rifle here, and it is not. So, but he does hold his sword very well. It's like a sword slash missile. He's got another one stored back here, and we'll get into that action feature with the wings when we get him into beast mode. But yeah, he just stores those in his wings. So he's got two swords. He's got this big bug head for shoulder over here, and all the bug legs for hand. I always kind of like to, imagine it was backwards like this, and it was like a big crossbow that was built in. But it's hard to do it without losing legs. But they're just simple ball joints, so they pop right back on. So, posability in this mode. He's got his head is on a swivel, so it looks around. It's also on a spring-loaded gimmick for his transformation. That still works pretty well. This arm is on a ball joint. The shoulder piece is on a different swivel, so it goes up and down. Again, that's something that you see quite often nowadays. Not so much back then. I guess there were a few Beast Wars that had it. Elbow is on a ball joint. This arm, the shoulder is on a ball joint, and there's a pin in there. Actually, both of them do. They have a pin so they can rock the shoulder as well, side to side, and then it moves all around as well. Then the elbow is on a ball joint, but it gets incredibly hindered with the mandibles and the legs. So it's really hard to get any other pose than that, or maybe that. Waist is on a swivel. He does have an ab crunch. Again, another feature that wasn't too prominent back then, but he had it. Hips are on ball joints, and they're cut up here so they can get all the way up like this as well. He's got a swivel at the knee, so he gets a full rotation there. He's also got a ball joint on the back side, so you can rotate the leg, you can bend it in, you can do pretty much anything you want to. The back knee is on a hinge, and this little piece right here is, it goes all the way in the leg, so as you move it, it doesn't have much movement, but as you move it, it does stay in place, so it looks like it's just like a piston or something. And then his feet are on hinges. As far as his back kibble goes, this is on a hinge, so it can go up and down. You can also open this up. I think this was the official transformation, but I just think that just looks gross, or just weird. To have the skirting down like that, I just prefer to have the bug ass on the back. And then this piece here just kind of folds up and down. Again, that's more for beast mode, attack mode, but it does fold up, so you can kind of, because this one's a missile launcher, so you can fold it up, press down on that, and it fires. So yeah, there's the posability. We've looked at the accessories, so let's get him into beast mode. So what you want to do is you want to rotate him like all the way around, I think. Yeah, all the way around. Take this piece here, and it rotates around and just kind of comes up like that. Rotate his arm like this, and you want to pull the shoulder piece as far down as it can. Open up the the butt of the bug, however you say that, and then you use the ab crunch, fold it in. This will rotate in. There's a little peg right here that'll plug into the side of the arm right there, and that's the same on both sides. So you just line that up. The dog's in here and she's getting one ready to bark. No. And then you fold this one in and it just locks into place. Once you get the one arm in, it's a lot easier to get the other arm in. And then you just kind of try and get that hand to sit back a little bit. Alright. Then you take these legs and they come out to the back. So, you want to fold the feet in. They just rotate up. Just like so. And fold this piece up. You want to push the head down, and this will just kind of sit over the back. This piece will rotate forward. And you can take the bug head here and it's on a double hinge on the inside. I don't know how well you can see that. But it's a double hinge in there. And it just rotates up like so. Then there's a little plug right here at the bottom, and you plug the there's a hole in the hand right here, and you plug that into the bottom. That holds that all into place pretty well. Rotate the legs forward and back, just kind of angle them how you want them, and then you want to take the missile here. This will slot in like this, so that the kind of serrated part's pointing down. That will lock in, and then you take the other one. This one does not have a missile launcher in it, but it just slides in and it just kind of holds in. And there you have Scourge in beast mode. And I really dig this bug. Although this paint thing makes me look like I was just having some fun with a stripper. I mean, look at all this glitter on the ground. It's not coming off very well. But I mean, it's all over my little station here. Just tons of it. So yeah, I really dig this bug. I think this is one of the most successful bug modes of the Beast Wars. Usually it's just like, you could tell that it's just a robot folded up. This one looks like a locust, and that's what he's supposed to be, is a locust. So I think it works pretty well. Now, for the action feature, if you pull this out, I think, or push it in. Yeah, you push it in. You push this red lever in. This never really worked very well for me. But you push it in, and it fires that missile. It's not a very good gimmick, but I guess it works to an extent. You can open up his eye here, and there's his nice Predacon logo there. I just like how he looks like this horrible, mutated, dying bug. I think it really works for him. Posability, his head can rotate side to side. It's got a little up and down. The mandibles are on just ports here. So they do go up and down. Front legs are on ball joints, so it gets a decent range of motion there. Middle leg is on ball joints. Back legs, they are on the robot's hips, so it retains pretty much all the same posability as it did before. I mean, you can, aside from the feet, so he does rotate around a little bit. So yeah, I quite dig this figure. If you can't tell already, but then again, I'm a Beast Wars fan, so some of you guys might not be. So to transform him back, you want to unplug the hand here, fold this out, and just kind of put the legs back together there. You want to take the top section here, fold that up, split the bug ass again. Thorax, I think it is. Thorax. We'll call it a thorax. I don't know. The ass of the bug is what I will call it. Fold down the feet. Rotate everything around back to where it was to start with. And then fold this back. And there he is back in his robot mode. And again, I do like him. I think he's a pretty decent bug. Definitely has a feel of an Insecticon. So let's take a look at size scale. Here he is next to the Seeker jet. And as you can see, and this is another reason why I like him, and I really like the Beast Wars, was the fact that, here we are. He's a deluxe class figure. He's mostly streamlined with the exception of the wings holding off the back, and he is still taller than him. And that's not including all the kibble on the back and the legs being so twisted around like they are. I mean, if you were to stretch out, he'd be... Like, if you stretch those legs out, he'd probably be as tall as a Voyager. So he's a pretty big, intimidating bug, as far as that goes. Here he is next to the Aegir Seeker. And that's what I would want from an Insecticon scale for my Classics collection. This is the size of an Insecticon I would like. And then here he is next to a Masterpiece car. Again, I think that works for like an Insecticon scale. So I do really dig this figure. I know he's not for everybody. If you are a fan of the Beast Wars or just a fan of bugs, I would get him, but err on the side of caution because that chrome does flake off, and that's disappointing and irritating because I've got little bits of chrome all over me. I mean, it's everywhere. But I think I'll give him an 8 out of 10. I think he's really good for what he is, and way ahead of his time in a lot of fields. Like I said, the hand, the ab crunch, the backwards knees. The backwards knees isn't a very good quality, I'd really say, because I'm not a huge fan of that, but it works for him because he is a bug. But I mean, even like the Aegir Seekers has the open hands for the ports, and they didn't really start doing that until recently. Because the older generations and Classics figures, like this Seeker here, has closed fist. And then as that line progressed, it started doing the open fist. So it's very interesting that they were doing it so far back. And he's the earliest one I remember. I could be wrong about all of it, but he's the earliest one I remember with these features all at once. And I think it's really cool. And aside from the chrome, which I'm going to try and strip off at some point, I have no idea how I'm going to do that. But I'm going to try and strip it off and maybe repaint the whole thing in more Insecticon colors, like the black and purple. But he does have a lot of black and he does have a lot of purple, so he kind of fits in as it is. Just a little bit more accents here and there. But yeah, I really dig this figure. I think he's really cool. And I think Hasbro knocked it out of the park with this figure. And like I said, I know he's not for everybody. I know there's going to be people that comment that Beast Wars suck and stuff like that. But I was a huge fan of Beast Wars, and some of their earlier entries aren't as good as their later ones. He was one of the last to come out, and it really shows, that they stepped it up as they were getting closer. Let's see, can I get him any taller? That's as tall as I can get him. But as you can see, he's now a little hard to keep him up there. But he's now as tall as the almost as tall as a Masterpiece car when you stretch his legs out as far as it can go. But as you can see, they're not anywhere near fully stretched out. So I mean, if they were, I think he'd be way up there. Very tall and skinny, but anyway. So, question of the day will be, what's your guys' worst case of the chrome flake? I hate this. I'm really gonna have to do something about that.